Welcome back to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And we are celebrating a lot of stuff tonight. First of all, this is a Victory Wednesday with the Dallas Cowboys defeating the Washington Commanders in Week 18. And we are also celebrating that we are the division champions. And finally, we are the number 2 seed. Going back to that division championship, we kept the streak going where no team has won back-to-back division championships in 10 years or 12?
It's been 12, hasn't it?
It's been 12 years.
12.
So the Eagles thought they had it, but we came in at the last minute and said not so fast. So we are riding high this week's game, and we got a great show for you guys. We're going to talk about the matchup with the Green Bay Packers in the wild card round. We have a special guest who will be joining us in a few minutes. So make sure you guys like the broadcast. Also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you join the DC4L Facebook group. Also, go find them on YouTube. Subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. And then also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Bluff City Cowboys. So I see the views are starting to come in pretty quick. I see we got my guy Jeff joining us. Jeff, appreciate it. We got a Facebook user in here. So Facebook user, let me know who you are. And also give Facebook and StreamYard your consent so that they can use your name and your face. We got Cy Witherspoon. Thank you for joining in as always. Got my guy, the Lunatic, who is one of the people who donated one of the prizes we'll be giving away tonight. We're in the playoffs, so we're gonna do it big. We normally have one prize. Sometimes we have two prizes. Tonight we are giving away 3 separate prizes on this week's show. And for you guys who've been a regular on the show, you know how you can get entered into that drawing. All you got to do is stay active. So stay in those comments, give us your questions, give us your comments, and we're gonna have a great show talking about some Cowboys football. Got our special guest who's getting set up in the background. So we'll have him here in a few minutes. Amanda, how are you feeling about this week's matchup, just overall, before we really get into it?
Oh, I'm ready to exercise some Green Bay demons. I know everyone out there probably feels the same way, right? I mean, we have such a history there, and I'm really confident heading into this matchup. So I'm excited. I haven't felt this excited about a postseason, I don't think, in quite some time. So,
right. Do you feel more confident this year than you did in 2016?
I love rookie Dak. Oh, come on. I love that team. But I just want to say, when I look back at 2016, our defense was nowhere near what our defense is right now. Dan Quinn is a mastermind. I'm really excited. I feel better this year than I do in 2016. The offense was really, really phenomenal in 2016, but I think the defense this year really gives us that special edge. So.
Oh, yeah. So got a lot of storylines in this week's game. We got the big ones we'll talk about, but of course, the biggest one, Mike McCarthy getting a chance to go against his old team. Also, Green Bay being one of those thorns in our side with the Aaron Rodgers-led Green Bay Packers. So hopefully Mike McCarthy can get a little payback and we can exercise that Green Bay demon like we did against Tampa Bay a couple years ago. And thank you, Facebook user. That's what I love about this show. I think of something, and then I look at the comments, and somebody already beat me to it. Thank you again, Rachel.
We've got excellent fans, don't we?
Yes, we do. Paul Foy looks like a new name, so thank you for joining us. So I guess, Amanda, you want to bring in our special guest?
All right, y'all. I'm super excited and super blessed to be able to introduce this next person. We have none other than Terrence Parsons, the man that is responsible for probably one of the key, most important players on our defense right now. And he's agreed to come in and talk some Cowboys football and let us kind of nitpick his brain a little bit about who he is and what the Parsons family's about. So if y'all could help me welcome Terrence Parsons.
How's it going, Terrence?
It's going good. I'm chilling. How y'all doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Oh, no problem at all.
So do you want to call you Mr. Parsons? You want us to keep it formal, or can we call you Terrence?
I like Coach or Parsons.
Okay.
Coach, we can do that.
We can definitely do Coach. So
Of
we got
course.
the fan base joining us. They're definitely welcoming you in. Somebody's calling you Big Papa Lion. That's a good nickname, actually. You
That
may
is
want
a
to
good
start
name.
that. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We know you're a Cowboys fan, so I'm sure you're going to give us some input overall in the show. But before we get started, we did want to ask you a couple of questions, just to give the fan base a little bit of information about you. So, first question. This one I gotta ask. How did you end up being a Cowboys fan living in Eagles Nation? Just gotta know.
So growing up, we used to play Cowboys and Indians, and the Cowboys had the guns. And I like the Lone Ranger.
So it was that simple, huh? You just fell in love. Cowboys always win, so you became a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just that simple, folks.
Can't beat that at all. I grew up playing Cowboys and Indians too. I don't think we're supposed to talk about that anymore, but that's something my kids still play to this day. So I get it. I like that.
All right, Coach, do you have another phone on or something?
Oh, I was on Facebook.
I'm sorry. We were getting feedback through the broadcast, and people were talking about it in the comments.
Oh, my fault.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. All right, Amanda, what you got for Coach?
All right. This is probably just kind of cliche, but I want to know, what was the feeling for you when you grow up a Cowboys fan, you raised a bunch of Cowboys fans. What was the feeling for you when Micah was drafted to your favorite football team?
Man, that was just a crazy moment, But like Micah had prophesized it like months earlier when he was in LA training. He was like, well, I'm going to the Cowboys. I was like, nah, we're not going to pick that high. He said, no, just think about it. I ended up graduating from the same high school you graduated from. I went to Penn State, your favorite college team. It's only right I go to the Cowboys.
That's amazing.
And then his last college game was in Dallas, Texas, in the Cotton Bowl, where he dominated. And he said that's where he wanted to be. And he got his wish.
That's amazing.
I think we all remember that. What is it? Sometimes when you wish upon a star, the star calls you back. That video, of course, that everyone comes in and then the phone rings and it's Jerry on the phone. I thought that was, man, I'm not going to lie too. A lot of people, everyone wanted a CB that round. I don't think anyone ever would look back at that and say, no, we made the wrong pick. Micah is he's something else. You've raised a phenomenal young human, just a great man. So.
Well, I'm going to keep it 100. If the Broncos don't take Surtain, I think we'd have took Surtain to go opposite of Diggs. Honestly, I don't even feel like my son was on the draft board for real, because I know we were sold on Surtain. I think that's why they made the trade when they did, because they figured the Eagles wanted the receiver. The Giants said, "Hey, we don't want him, so why not trade down? You save a couple of dollars, and you probably get the best pick in the draft."
Yeah,
they played chess, and they came out on top. There's 11 other teams probably real sick right now.
Exactly, especially that team that traded up and still didn't take them.
Yeah, and my phone was ringing during the draft when that trade went through. They was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you your first Eagles jersey." Yeah, it's going down. Like, me and my oldest son, we're going nuts. Like, I can't believe this. Like, they could have traded with anybody else, but the trade with the Eagles,
of all people
sitting out there, I'm like, wow, is this really about to happen to us? But
that's amazing.
Sigh of relief when that wasn't the name they called out, right?
Say it again.
Was it a sigh of relief when the Eagles didn't say they were taking Micah?
Yeah, because at that point I was solid then, because I knew the Giants didn't want him. As soon as the Giants got on board, they traded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So going back to the draft night, and you're talking about what transpired as a Cowboys fan. What was the feeling like for you hearing your son's name get called for the team, and just knowing that, like you said before, he played for Penn State, your favorite team, and now he's playing for your favorite pro team. What was that feeling like on draft night?
Well, when he got the call and he was excited, we just all standing around him and everything. So now we already know he's going to Cowboys. So now we got to go to the TV and watch. Now we sitting here
Mhm.
watching. We like, oh my God, okay, lady, we need you to just get on with it so he can say his name. And then once he said his name for real, we were just so excited. Like it was like a dream. Like you could have never, like for my friends, they said the story couldn't have ended any better for me. They said, how does your son go to your favorite team? What are
Mhm.
the chances of that? You know? And I was like, yeah, that is crazy. Some people think I've been a fan. So now it's like I got the best of both worlds. He's
Mhm.
team and he's playing very well.
He's I don't even think that there's a well is even in the category of what Micah plays.
Yeah.
If he got the holding calls that he was supposed to, it would be that's the only reason the man doesn't get, people are like, well, Micah hasn't been getting home because he's held every play. Like the refs look the other way. It's for some reason. It makes no sense to me.
But,
I know
but
that's got to frustrate him too.
yeah, it's frustrating. But then when they say things like that, then I have to go back and say, well, listen, for all that what you're saying, he's the first one to have 13 sacks in his first 3 years. You think about the Watts, the Bosas, the Crosbys, none of them did that. Now he
Mhm.
got over 40 sacks. Only four other guys did that. It was none of them other guys, even with all the only calls. So he's still making waves and making noise, and he
Yes,
still leads the league in pressures. Even with all that, he's still dominating. And I think, they can't stand it.
Yeah.
And he talks on it. You know what I mean? And they don't like that. But hey, that's one of the reasons why I like how my son is because, he's going to speak his mind. If he realizes he made a mistake, he's wrong, he know how to come back and apologize. But he speak it, and 9 times out of 10, he know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So they don't like that for him being so young.
Can I just say too? Just want to say this. That's one of my favorite things about Micah. Just so you know, is I love the way he speaks his mind. It is such just it's like a breath of fresh air because so many people are just so correct with what they say and they don't. They walk on eggshells. Micah will say what's on his mind. I love it. That's what I love. I love it following Micah on Twitter. I never know what he's going to say. He ain't afraid to take shots. It's great. You've
So
raised a good one.
yes.
Um, and just a little bit, I want to ask one more thing when it comes to draft night. So we see, of course, we see what goes on with the phone call. We see what goes on. What happens before that? Is there anything that happens before that that's really kind of neat, like that we don't see? We only see, what we get to see. So, what is there anything that happens before that that we don't get to see? That's like that's hits you and that you remember above all.
Um, the red carpet was beautiful. Me, his mom, his son, you know, he led us out and we followed behind. They took a great picture. I'm probably gonna
Mhm.
get it drawn sometime soon, but like that was come on the red carpet, take pictures. Then they have them speak, and this is like right after COVID, so it's not like the old where we all sit in the same area. So we was in the back, like in our own little rectangular room that they put together, real nice seats, pillows. We got the keep. What I mean, draft pillows. I
Mhm.
mean, it was nice, but you could hear the people get drafted. Room to room and hear the families celebrate. It's really behind the scene. I think I'd like to be out there when he got to walk out and celebrate, but we had to stay in the back.
Mhm.
Yeah, the way COVID was and everything. But just to see that, see him jump in the commissioner's arms, like that was just like everything because it was his dream. You know, from the age of 5, everything he wanted happened, and it's like it's amazing. Like I still get chills. Like, no, that's my son out there.
Mhm.
Then when you go to the games and I see all the 11 jerseys and see my name on the back, it's like, wow, like this is really happening.
Yeah.
And then the jersey gets to the Hall of Fame. Don't know if my son's gonna make the Hall of Fame. It's still premature.
We're speaking into existence.
But
Oh,
He's on the
yeah,
way.
the fact
it's
that his
happening.
jersey's in the Hall of Fame with our name on it, I get to go see that. You know, when the big thing happened, I don't know if I'll be around, but I feel like I get the opportunity to see our name in the Hall of Fame. You know, that's amazing. And to be there, you
Yeah.
know, that's just a blessing.
So you talk about all that and all that Micah has accomplished and just the feeling of seeing him be special on the field. When did you, as a dad, and I'm sure you probably coached him when he was younger, when did you know that he was special and he had a chance to be a first round pick and play in the NFL?
Well, I never coached him in football.
Okay.
I coached him in baseball. You know, that's where I was trying to get him to go, where they get most of their money
That
guaranteed.
big
'Cause,
money, right?
The
he was a home
big,
run hitter, So like I told him, I said, listen, you get up there, you get 3-4 hits out of 10, you an all-star, but his passion for football was better. But I realized he could go to the league probably his second year at Penn State. Moved from defensive into linebacker, he never played the position.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the field. And in high school, I just felt like he was supposed to do what he was doing. Like if you ever watch his high school tapes, I mean, he was 6'2", 6'3", 235. Yeah, you should dominate like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was like over the top. I felt like that's what you should be doing. And then we went to the 5-star camps. I was wondering, like, is all these guys here really 5 stars? What I realized, it's America. It's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm an NFL player and I'm coaching now, I may have one legit 5-star. But to get my 5-star to come, I need these 5 other guys to come. You're gonna give them an opportunity to go. Now they got a chance to make themselves that. But I don't think they was 5 stars going in. And the way
Mm-hmm.
he was manhandling some of them linemen as a sophomore and junior at these 5-star camps, I'm like, man, is he really that good or are these guys overrated?
Mm-hmm.
You know. But his first year at Penn State, I saw a little just said, maybe he really is that good. Because again, I'm thinking to get to the NFL, it's like the odds is so stacked against you. And then to get there and be good, that's another. So like I'm saying the best of both worlds for my son, and this is unbelievable. I just thank God for him because he's playing with God's gift.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
He's definitely playing with God's gift. We wasn't in the backyard training. He just wanted to play, and we took him out there, and he was the water boy in the beginning. He tackled his players, his teammates, the other team. You have to go physically take him off the field at the age of 5 until he started knowing what he was doing. But yeah, he never want to leave the field, and he kept that mindset up to now. Even if it like he may be hurt, he'll go off and hey, I'm ready to go back in. He wants to be in on every play.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the
Yeah.
preseason when they tried to
So
limit his snaps.
we saw that with the club. What was it last year against Tennessee, right? With the
Yeah.
club on his head. He
Yeah,
didn't care. He said, let me play.
yeah, he wants to
That's
play.
awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you
Oh
have
no,
something
what I
else?
was gonna say is like to some of the guys in the league, it's a job. To him, it's his playground. He's the biggest kid, and he's on the playground having fun with some frustrations right now, but he's having fun.
Yeah, he kind of, you could see the frustration kind of build up this last game there. You saw it's got to be frustrating for him.
Yeah.
Um, Now I want to ask, going back to the first time you've met Jerry, I take it. So going back to that first time you met Jerry, is there anything that strikes you as like we've always heard that he treats the families of everyone, really well. Is there anything about Jerry that you remember the first time you met him that sticks with you, or any story about Jerry that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah. What I realized about Jerry, he's about family and money. So on draft day, when he flew us out there, my grandson's birthday was that Saturday. So we got there Friday and we're talking everything. And once Jerry knew that my grandson's birthday was that Saturday, he said, well, we're going to stop this part of the program. We're going to go ahead and get everything done so I can fly y'all back to have his party. He said, because that's the most important thing. And that really I think we were supposed to stay there the Sunday, but when he knew it was my grandson's birthday party, he changed everything up and made sure we was back to have his party.
That's
That's
amazing.
that is really awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, Jerry treats everyone. I mean, his to Jerry. I've always, of course, I can only say what I see looking in as a fan. I don't know the intricate workings, and I appreciate you giving us a little insight to that. But you can always tell that Jerry really loves his players. Like he is, it's a family to him, and you can always see that reflecting. And by what you're saying, that's exactly how it is. That's really awesome. That's something you don't find, I don't think, with a lot of owners and GMs. So that's a real blessing in itself.
Mhm.
All right, coach. So we got one more question for you. Then we're gonna take a couple of questions from the audience, and then we're gonna talk some Cowboys football. So hopefully you can stick with us for a little bit longer.
Mhm.
All right. So last question. As a Cowboys fan, I go to a lot of fan clubs. I go to a lot of Cowboys social events, and one thing I've noticed is we treat anybody affiliated with a player like a celebrity. So the mother, the father, brother, anybody, best friend, anybody treated like a celebrity. Um, how does it feel for you? Because I've seen you at some events before, and I'm sure you probably get just bombarded like you playing on the field. How is it? How is that adjustment for you, or how do you handle that?
It's crazy, because I'm just a regular working man. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. But the way they take to me, it's
Hmm.
like, wow. And I think a lot of people tell me because I'm down to earth. Because like I could be amongst the room and I won't say anything, and then somebody like, "Yo, that's Micah Parsons." There, and they be like, "For real?" Like, yeah. They be like, "Oh my God, why you didn't say nothing?" I said, "Hey, I'm just here enjoying the moment." You know what I mean? Like when I was growing up, a lot of older gentlemen would tell me they don't like NFL games. They say like college and high school. I never understood that until now. The NFL is commercial.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I like watching on TV. I grew up watching on TV. I get to hear everything. But when I'm at the game, I miss that. I miss the constant replays. I miss the things they may say about my son or other players. So, I became the tailgate king. I
Mm.
visit the tailgate and watch the game with y'all. They be like, "Why aren't you in the game?" I say, "Yeah, I gave my ticket away." I love being out here with y'all because the fans, y'all make it possible for the
Hmm.
players.
Yeah.
So y'all probably can't afford to get in there because I look at them tickets. I'm like, "Hey, I'll tailgate today." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to be in every game. Like I'll take any seat in the house. I hear fans, someone, I can't sit that high up. Hey, after being in college and watching when they send us to the away games, they send us way up there. After 2 years of that, I can sit anywhere in the stadium and enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I can see that number 11 from anywhere.
Yeah. And I don't think people realize that you're actually a Cowboy fan also. And when you're a Cowboy fan, as long as you get to see your team, you can watch from anywhere.
Yes.
Right. Because I've drove to Dallas twice to just
Mm,
go tailgate and watch the game or watch it at a bar just because I love that experience of being around other Cowboys fans.
yeah. Well, I will be inside the game this week. Yeah, I will be.
I'm sure you will.
I'm
Big,
gonna
big
tailgate.
game.
I'm going inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I just love being around good people, talking football and having a good time.
All right. So
Uh,
we got a couple of questions for you from the audience, guys. If you have any questions for us for Coach, put them in the comments. I'll try to get to as many as I can. If I miss you, charge it to my head, not to my heart. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and I don't want you guys to take it personally. So just while we were talking, I've seen a couple of people leave questions. One of them is from the Lunatic, who's actually one of our sponsors for one of our giveaways. He asked, "Where does the line get that speed? Which side of the family does it come from?"
It came from God.
Okay.
Now, what I will say is this. Oh my goodness, he's gonna kill me. Um, his high school track coach. Um, when my son transferred to the high school I went to, Coach Manning. Thank you. Whew. Coach Manning was like, "If you listen to me, I have you the fastest linebacker in the country." But I told my son, I said, "Son, he's a different type of coach." I said, "Just because your name is big, it's either his way or the highway." When I say them two used to go back and forth, he'd be like, "You're not going to run today." He'd be like, "Why not?" "Because you're not listening." I told my son, I said, he don't care who you are. You got to understand it's a team sport. This is what he needs you to do. But he made him fast. And then once Coach Manning got the picture, Coach Lance Dean is now helping him with his speed. But he originally had it, though. They just had to fine tune it.
Okay. So, got another question from a regular on the show, Jeffrey Dunnigan. He asked the question, are you sometimes starstruck by your son being a player on your favorite team, or do you still kind of view him as that's just my son?
Oh, man, I go back and forth. I'm like, man, this little snotty-nosed kid. But then I'd be like, yo, he's really the man. Like, this is crazy. And I just sit back sometimes and I'd be like, man, God created everything. And I'd be like, man, like, that's God's son. He made me his overseer. He could have made anybody his overseer, but he chose me. And that's a question I always wonder, because like it's amazing. Like my daughter, she was great too in basketball. But like with Micah, it was just like amazing, And once he learned how to work, the game became easy because he played so long on natural ability.
Right.
So he never got burnt out. I never forced the issue. Like in high school, they were like all-season workouts. He'd be like, what? I'm going to play another sport then. Like, he didn't want to do all-season work. But once he learned how to work, oh, man. And I used to tell him, once you learn how to work, the game's going to be too easy for you. Because right now you're just playing on natural ability.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
just real quick, I just want to tell you, Coach, that I really love the way that you credit God for stuff. It's just not something you see a lot today in society, and I just want to tell you that I really think that's awesome. It's really cool. So.
Oh yeah, listen, I ain't gonna take no credit that I ain't got. I ain't gonna be like, yeah, we was out in the backyard. I was handing off. Nah, he just was natural. Like everything he did, he was just natural, and then he wants to learn. He's gonna ask you a million questions to get better because he wants to be on top.
All right, so we're going to do one more question, then we're going to move the show along because we got a lot of stuff to cover in this big game. This one comes from Ricky Lindblad, and he asked the question, what's your most memorable Micah game so far in the NFL? I'm sure you got a lot to choose from.
I think it was the Charger game when he helped seal the Gill and he sacked the quarterback.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
It's a lot of them, but that one I remember very well because I want to say, I don't know if it was his first sack, but it was definitely a big one for us because I think that ended it, or made it close to the end. No, that's what it was. Yeah, they just moved in the defensive end. Yeah, that was his first sack. But I knew he was going to get people pressure because he played defensive end all through high school.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Only thing was undersized, but I said, man, that speed, he's going to kill that guy. And he had a long day.
All right, guys. So keep those questions in the comments. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We do have a coach here. He is a Cowboys fan, so we also want to get his knowledge about the team and upcoming games. So before we go to the divisional round, we're going to do a quick game recap from last week's game against the Washington Commanders.
Game recap.
All right, so as you guys know, the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Washington Commanders. Final score 38-10. I'm not even going to put one of their players on their side because the regular season is over with and we're moving on to the playoffs. We do have a couple of things we're going to talk about from this game as it relates to Micah Parsons. I see we got Coach setting up in another spot right now. So
I'm good.
Okay.
Give me a snack.
All right. So while Coach takes care of that, Amanda, just real quick, what thoughts do you have from that game? Anything particular?
Well, I was super excited. I know Coach will love to hear this. I was super excited to see Micah break that 14 sack. In fact, I sent it to Coach. I messaged him on Facebook when he got that 14th sack. I was super excited about it because he got over that hurdle. So I did. I messaged Coach about it. I was just super happy to have that happen. DeMarcus Lawrence is just Man, that man, you would think he's much younger than he is out there. He is playing at a level that is just fantastic for a veteran player. I love seeing it. Him and Micah terrorize quarterbacks. That's just the way it is. The biggest thing I saw, I'm really excited to get Brandon Cooks going more in this offense. I love CD. CD's fantastic, but I love the two-headed beast that you have with him and CD in the offense. Just moving forward, I'm excited to see what happens. And I'm glad we're at home because we all know how the Cowboys play at home. So that's what I'm looking forward to as we go. We did exactly what we were supposed to do this weekend.
Yeah.
We handled business. And that's the most important thing. We are supposed to beat teams like that have those types of records. And that's what we did. So I'm glad to see that we took care of business because a lot of people remember week 18 last year. And I'm glad we got rid of that monkey on our back as well. So,
all right, guys, we're at the 30-minute point. Amanda, I'm already moved on to the divisional round.
He said we ain't even talking about Washington anymore.
I just have to do it because it's part of the format, and I want to throw in some Micah Parsons stuff with it. I moved on. Great game. We did what we were supposed to do. The only reason they scored was off 2 fluky plays, like I told you in the chat, or it would have been probably 40-0.
Yeah.
The only thing is I want to focus on this game, and we're going to take it back to Micah Parsons. So you brought up about how great him and D-Law play together and how great that game was. So I got to go to this this soundbite from Micah Parsons before the game, talking about that 14th sack that had been eluding him all year. And what Micah said was, at this point, it's any means necessary to get that sack. I might jump off sides twice this week. I'm glad he didn't. He says something has to change. Something. It's coming for sure. And it did come in the third quarter of the game when Micah Parsons lined up opposite that left tackle. And you see him, as he does, use that quickness, get around the edge, get that quarterback on the ground for his 14th sack. And with that 14th sack, that put him in some elite company. I know Coach touched base on it earlier. So, first of all, he's the league leader in pressures. And I spelled pressures wrong. I apologize. Secondly, Coach brought both of these points up before and is like, we didn't even talk before, and you are already on it. Second player in NFL history with 12 sacks in the first 3 years of his career.
13.
Sorry. It's 13. You're right. That's what happens when you work too fast behind the scenes. So second player in NFL history with 13 sacks in his first 3 years. And also he's the 5th player in NFL history with 40-plus sacks in his first 3 years. So we talked about Hall of Fame a little bit before the show, before we got to this point. He's well on his way to going there. So how did you feel when you – because I know you knew these stats off the top of your head. So how did you feel just knowing what he's accomplished so far in his young career?
It's just amazing. Like, and, you know, just to only play 2 years of college football, you know, and come into the league and have an impact like that is just amazing. It just shows his work ethic. You know, his offseason work ethic is amazing. And one thing I always talk about with my kids, and my daughter said it best.
Mm-hmm.
If your game is still the same next season, that means you did nothing in the offseason. And I always tell people the offseason is the season. That's where you build your championship caliber at.
Mm-hmm.
So some people, they come back and they play the same way. That means they ain't do nothing. But my son shows it. Like, he puts his clips out. Like, I'm working. He ain't just vacationing, laying on somebody's beach. No, he's working to get better because he wants to be the best. He don't want to be labeled as this guy. He wants to be Micah Parsons, the man. So he's going to work on that. Like he said, I'm working with offensive linemen in the offseason. That's what I got to go up against. So why not work out with them to make myself better? Like, he finds ways just to make himself better. You know,
it's funny you say that. And as a fan, you would think, why don't more guys do that instead of just going against air? And it's good to learn hand movements and stuff like that. But it's another thing when you're going against a possible Hall of Famer and Andrew Whitworth, and he's actually showing you, like, when you do this, this is what I'm thinking from an offensive lineman standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of that, you talk about his training. We do have another question from B. Neil Christian, one of our show regulars. And he asked the question, is Micah still doing his boxing training? Will he incorporate some martial arts to his training regime at some point?
Yes, and I got to meet his boxing trainer at the game when they played Detroit. So yeah, he's still doing his boxing. So when the season's over, he'll get back into that. They offered me a chance to come in there. I said, I'm good. Just send me the video clips.
Okay. So we're gonna put Washington in the back burner. We're officially in the postseason. Now we're gonna look ahead to this matchup with the Green Bay Packers. Before we do that, really quick, we have to do a major storyline that just came out today. So let's touch base on that, and then we'll look ahead to Green Bay.
Storylines.
We had a big storyline come out today. The All-Pro teams were announced, and the Dallas Cowboys led the NFL with 5 first-team All-Pros. Now, when I look at this list, first of all, I'm very proud to see how talented this team was as a whole. But then the second thing I notice is there are 2 players that are obviously missing from this list. Number 1 is Dak Prescott, and number 2 is, of course, Micah Parsons. So, Coach, I don't know if you knew about this before, but if you did or now that you've heard of it, what do you think about Micah Parsons being snubbed as a first-team All-Pro?
When my friend sent it to me earlier, and it said on Twitter, I guess it was the players themselves had a pick. Okay. So I didn't know the NFL came up with theirs yet, but you know what? It's just fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? He was an All-Pro his first 2 years. You know what I mean? You don't make it this year, and your numbers is a little bit better.
Right.
I just think it goes to show you that they want him to be quiet. You know what I mean? But you can't take what's a given. So he's going to continue to talk. These awards don't make him. You see what I'm saying? So he got them already. He don't make it this year. It's cool. He'll just continue to work and be better. He can show you better than he can tell y'all.
Exactly.
I'm happy for our players. I'm happy for our players.
Yeah.
Ain't no ill will, but are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my favorite line to my players: make it make sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Micah will let it be known what he thinks about it on the playing field this weekend. He'll make sure people know, what were y'all thinking? I feel really bad for Jordan Love. So I feel bad for it. Micah's coming.
So, Coach, you brought this up briefly, and we have another question from the audience. Audience, you guys are on it today with these questions. They're coming in right on time. Jeffrey Dunnigan comes back again and asks, do you feel his podcast is hindering his holding calls or just his accolades in terms of like this All-Pro?
The powers to be probably don't like it.
I'm sure they don't, yeah.
And he's been a social media buff since high school, so he's used to it, but this is my thing. He's not saying anything wrong. But y'all have to live with yourselves. If y'all really don't see these calls when it's happening and y'all ain't throwing the flag, hey, we gotta go. We gotta keep playing. We can't cry about it. We can't stop playing. Just gotta keep playing. But you guys gotta live with that. That you're cheating a young guy because y'all don't like because he talked. He's gonna continue to talk.
I mean, that's what we're
eventually NFL will have to investigate, and because his holding calls is obvious, and then you'll turn around and call one that's not even that bad on us.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense.
Well, or call a phantom tripping call in a crucial point
on
of the game.
On the wrong team of all things, like on the wrong team. I think that the star on the helmet, everybody knows it's kind of like a target. Everybody knows that. Ever since Jerry said, hey, I want the rights to my logo, it's like Roger has I guess you'd say like a little, what's the right way to put this? I want to make sure I put it correctly. I guess you
Vendetta.
could say he has a vendetta. Yeah, that's the best word. We'll say that so I can be professional. The vendetta is the best way to go. And it's very obvious. You see things, and I don't like a game shouldn't come down to a ref's calls. You should put the game away as a player. But when it's that obvious, you would think the NFL would want people to say this is a fairly officiated game. But if you can point out multiple issues, move every game, you would think, hey, something needs to change because now it's looking, it's not looking correct. I mean, as a fan, I can only look in and say this isn't right. But when someone like Roger Goodell sees all these people complaining, you have multiple players that are speaking out against the issues, and they're just turning their heads. It's like, oh, I don't hear you, I don't see you. It's ridiculous. And I really do hope the players union will step up and say something. That's because the players are pretty much, they can speak their mind, but at the same time, they have the players union to speak for them, and they need to. The players union needs to put their foot down, or it's only going to get worse.
All right, guys. So now before we move on, we're gonna do our first giveaway, first of 3. So as you guys know, if you follow the show, the only thing you have to do to be entered into the giveaway is keep leaving those comments. You guys have done a great job of that. So because last week we had someone who did not claim the prize, we are putting some rules up there so that you guys can be aware of what it takes to get one of these prizes. First off, you must contact Amanda within 72 hours. If you do not contact Amanda, we will be giving the prize away again next week like we're doing today. You must be a Cowboys fan to win. We do have a lot of fans from other fan clubs and other teams who watch this show. We definitely appreciate you guys' support, but we don't want to give other fans our gear so you can go and mark it up and do stupid stuff with it. We do ask that you follow DC4L Facebook, subscribe to their YouTube channel, and also subscribe to the Bluff City Cowboys YouTube channel. And then last but not least, you have to give Facebook permission to see your name, because if it comes up Facebook user, we don't know who it is. So if it does, we have to redo it again. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see who gets our first prize. Amanda, before we do it, do you want to let the people know what the first prize is for today?
Sure. So this is actually, let's see, which one do we want to do, Marcus?
The
Let's go.
autograph.
Okay, we are going to go with an autographed 8x10 of Dat and Win this week. That's going to be the first one we've got. I appreciate you all stopping in. Y'all know I love giving stuff away because we are built by the fans for the fans. So I'm always trying to give stuff out to y'all, and that's going to be the first thing is an autographed 8x10. So,
all right, let's hit the button and see who wins. Brady Jones, congratulations. You're the winner of the
Congrats,
8x10 Dat and Win autographed picture. Be sure to contact Amanda to give her your contact information so she can get that over to you. We have 2 more prizes to go, guys. We're at 45 minutes. We're going to start talking about Green Bay right now. So make sure you keep those questions and comments rolling in, and we'll be sure to highlight them, get you guys entered into their drawing, and also let's just talk some good Cowboys football. So as you guys know, we start the show off. We begin the show with talking about the key matchups in this week's game. Myself personally, I've watched the last 6 Green Bay games from front to back. I made a ton of notes. I'm going to try not to talk too much because I'm just excited about this game, and I've done a lot of homework, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how this game is going to go. So let's kick the show off talking about some key matchups from this week's game.
Key matchups.
So as you guys know, before we do the key matchups, we have to talk about the tail of the tape. So first of all, you look at the scoring offenses. We are leading the NFL. Green Bay is top 10 at 22.5 points. You look at their scoring defense. We are top 3, only giving up 18.5 points. Green Bay is right behind us at 20.6. But then you look at their bottom number, the turnover differential. The Cowboys are a plus 10, and Green Bay is at 0, which means they've thrown the same amount of interceptions and fumbles as they have received on the defensive side of the ball. All right, so let's talk about a couple of key matchups that I've just noticed watching some of the games. And of course, we got to start with this key matchup, Coach, and that is Micah Parsons against his former teammate Rasheed Walker. Now, do you know Rasheed Walker personally? Former left tackle, Penn State.
Uh-huh.
Do you know if there's been any trash talk between them going into this game?
Well, I don't know if y'all remember at the All Army game, Rasheed Walker was going somewhere else, and Micah dominated him at that practice, and then he ended up switching to coming to Penn State because matter of fact, I think he was going to Ohio State, and Micah said, "You're gonna get this every year we play." And he ended up coming to Penn State.
So he was afraid to get that work, so he decided if I can't beat them, I'm gonna join them.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. It's always good to get those inside notes when you have somebody who can give you firsthand stuff like that. I did not know that, but yeah, that should definitely be a good matchup.
You could show that as the matchup, but then you forgot to put the tight end over there, the running back in the back,
running back dipping, yeah,
the other guy on the inside.
The ref not calling holding.
Listen, they dare not leave him one-on-one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
They know what'll happen.
Well, and I read today that Jordan, so his bread and butter comes from being in the pocket. Jordan is not very good when he has to scramble. So as long as we're getting pressure, that is what we need.
Yeah, interesting stat just watching the game.
I think Mike's going to get 2 sacks.
Yeah, interesting stat just watching the game. Jordan Love always takes 5 and 7-step drops. And to me, it just looks unusual for a quarterback to hold the ball that long. So I looked it up. Of course, Micah's one of the quickest when it gets from snap of the ball to getting to the quarterback. Jordan Love is actually the slowest from the snap to his release. So you got the quickest guy to get to the quarterback and the guy who's the slowest to get rid of it. Sounds like a recipe for disaster for Jordan Love. So how do you feel about how many sacks do you think your son will get? You think he's going to get multiple this week, or?
I like him for 1.5, but what I would love to see is a blitz sometimes. I feel like we put too much pressure on that D-line.
Mm-hmm.
We only send 4.
Yeah.
And if we're dropping 7 in the coverage and they still getting the ball down the field, bring somebody up to that line.
Right.
Because pressure busts pipes. That's when our secondary eats, when we get the pressure. But we can't get the pressure consistently with 4 guys.
Yeah.
Bring that 5th person up. And I guarantee you it'll be a lot of meeting in the backfield with Delon Parsons.
What do you think there's a reason in particularly that Dan likes to stick to the 4 instead of bringing 5? Because I prefer bringing 5 too. I'm a big fan of bringing 5. I don't like dropping 7 into coverage. I love the blitz. So
yeah, this is my thing. If we want to get to Vegas, you better watch Baltimore and see how they came after Brock Purdy. Yeah, 5, 6. Yeah, get the ball off if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pressure bust pipes.
Yeah.
But if you give a quarterback 3, 4, 5 seconds, somebody's going to get open, or it's going to be a flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lunatic making a great point. Their center is giving up 5 sacks. Means the quarterback holding the ball. Something else I noticed watching the game, another key matchup. You talk about bringing 5. I think our 4 is going to have a lot of success because something I've never seen before in the NFL. Osa versus Sean Ryan and John Runyon Jr. The past 5 weeks, Green Bay has been rotating guards. So both of these guards are playing 50% of the snaps each, and neither one of them has really gotten the consistent blocking that they should in the pass game or the run. So I feel like Osa's going to have a good chance to take advantage of one or both of these guys because they just keep switching in and out so much.
I didn't notice that. I wonder what that continuity on an offensive line is so important. Why would you do that? Is it like health? I didn't even notice that when I was rewatching their game.
It's not health. It's just they can't decide on who's the starter. And
Okay, then.
I'm even looking more forward to seeing Micah when he stands up and rushes from the inside, when he gets to take advantage of this as well. Because like that old saying is, you show me a team with 2 quarterbacks, I'll show you a team with no quarterback. You show me a team with 2 guards, I'm gonna show you somebody that's gonna get a lot of pass rush.
That's really bizarre. I've never heard of that, I guess, until today. So I haven't seen that. I'm all about continuity. I've preached it on the show all the time. The best thing, you want your 5 best on the field when you've got your lineup. I wouldn't know why anyone would trade out. That makes no sense to me, Marcus.
Yeah.
Coach, you got any insight there? Because I sure don't. That's bizarre.
Yeah, let's make them pay for it. That's the only thing I can say.
Exactly.
I like it.
So Coach, do you like Micah more rushing from the edge or from the inside? Because I know we have that debate on the show quite a bit.
I prefer the edge.
Okay.
There's too many bodies in the inside. You know what I mean? Too much could go wrong, I feel like. You know, on the edge, you coming from the outside in. Sometimes you may stunt and come back toward the inside, but yeah, I like him containing the outside. So that makes the running backs have to come up. We just got to make them plays when they turn inside. That's where we lack at sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes to middle linebacker, that shuts the run down.
Yeah.
But we showed that he cannot be on the field and we can still get pressure and bring sacks.
Right.
So that's what I like to see. So if we could do that, running back and middle linebacker, that's cool because he could cover the tight end, cover the running back, and make a slot receiver pay if he did across that middle.
Yeah, definitely.
His speed is what makes it's just amazing to watch Micah play. Just from the fact his speed is he's so fast, but also he can play almost anywhere you put him. And I love when Dan Quinn moves him around. Personally, I'm a big fan of moving Micah around, just because you never know. It's hard to game plan for someone when you don't know where they're coming from. So I enjoy that aspect, but I know it's probably more difficult on a player. But I enjoy not knowing what Mike is going to do next. Personally.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I like to see him go back to safety one day.
I would love to see that.
Wow. Now has he played safety in the past? Or is that just?
Nah,
I know he used to play running back.
Yeah, I just like Ronnie Lott and them Darren Woods and them hard hitters back there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I feel sorry for anyone that would need to go up against Micah as a safety. Those poor people. I think on the goal line, we should start giving him the ball if our running backs can't punch it in. I've been joking about that for a while now.
He would love that.
I know he would. I've seen him say, just give me the ball. I think he was lining up on the scout team as tight end. Is that what we saw once? Mm-hmm. I saw him doing something for the offense. Mike had him out there. I think it was tight end. He's an amazing athlete. So
he played Wildcat in high school sometimes too.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Getting all these nuggets from Coach tonight.
Right. Thank you, Coach.
Make sure you guys put that in your back pocket. In case you see it in the game, you'll know you heard it here directly from the coach on the Fifth Quarter podcast. So, Coach, you brought up a great point. Put Micah at linebacker. Let them make those receivers pay coming across the middle. Another key matchup that I want to talk about is Jordan Lewis, who's been playing amazing the past 5 weeks, versus their slot receiver, Jaden Reed. Now, when I watch Jaden Reed play, he's a shifty guy. They like to use him a lot on jet sweeps, and he runs a lot of drag routes and crosses across the middle. I don't know if you're familiar with any of the Packers or you watch them at all, but you could talk about how do you think Jordan Lewis has been playing so far this year, Coach?
I mean, he's been playing good. I just feel like we don't press up enough on them third down situations. Make them receivers have to work a little bit harder to get off that line. You know, we give them too much space.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely do. Our corners are too talented.
Yes, they are. We've talked about that, Marcus. You and I, sometimes we don't understand why we're giving so much room, and the prevent defense has almost bit us in the bottom a couple times now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. But Jordan's really put a foot in my mouth. I'll say that because I had some not too nice words to say, but honestly, I think he was just getting used to back from that injury because the past few weeks he has been fantastic. fantastic. He even won the Ed Block Award. So that was Coach gave him McCarthy gave him that, and that was. But I think this Reed is fast, but that's really the only player on their team. When I look at speed, that's the one player that concerns me. Watson's fast, but that hamstring has really hampered him all season. I think he's played like 6 or 7 games. That's it. So
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a really good matchup for us, and we're at home. So I'm not too worried about the defense. I just want to make sure the offense is clicking.
All right, we've been doing a lot of emphasis on the defensive side. Let's talk about a couple of offensive players and some key matchups we got over there. So first key matchup I want to talk about, and this one is to who I think should probably be offensive player of the year, CeeDee Lamb. He is going against Keyshawn Nixon, who's been the starting nickelback for the Green Bay Packers so far this year. And coach, I apologize. I forgot to ask this question earlier. What do you coach? Let the people know.
I coach middle school girls volleyball. I coach varsity girls volleyball, and I just finished up coaching basketball. The last 2 years I was coaching, but I just broke it down to one sport now.
Okay. So yeah, definitely. So CeeDee Lamb, what have you thought about his progression this year as a player when he's finally been given that opportunity to be the guy in Dallas on the offense?
I mean, it's about time, you know. I mean, like, you can't be great if you ain't getting the opportunities, you know what I mean? So he's getting the opportunity. He's making the most of them. You know, he's a guy that if he get less than 9 targets a game, I have a problem with that.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah, that's your stud. You've got to make sure you're using him. I don't understand sometimes. I complained about it when Kellen was here. We would go away from the star player that's having the most success. McCarthy has really, since that interview kind of came out where CD came up and told Mike, hey, and Mike made it very clear that he was not doing it in an egotistical way. He said, hey, I'm here. I want to help. Let me play, get the ball to me more. And ever since then, and then when Sherman had that, said he wasn't a number one, he's really put a bunch of people's foots in their mouth. He has been just unbelievable. Michael Irvin put it best. I don't want my number retired because as long as they're talking about 88, they're also talking about me. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that CD's the best 88 we've had because, we got Super Bowls to win, and then I'll start comparing people because every one of them's different. Dez, Drew, they're all different in their own way, but CD can do everything. I don't think there's one thing CD can't do. You can get him the ball out of the backfield. You can give him a go route. You can put him in the slot. CD continues to impress, and I'm really excited to see CD in this playoff form where we're actually using him correctly. I'm excited to see what Mike has dialed up. And if there's any team that Mike really wants to kind of stick it to, we're about to play him. So.
Tilly Afoa looks like a new name, so thank you for joining us tonight's show. Coach, we're at 1 hour. I don't want to hold you any longer than you can stay. So if you need to dip out just at any time, just please let us know. We definitely appreciate you giving us all the time you can.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. So we're going to go to another key matchup. I want to get your thoughts on this one for sure, because my next key matchup is Terrence Steele, who's been having kind of a down year, going against big Rashawn Gary, big defensive end out of Michigan. Steele's been struggling a little bit. Gary's kind of having his best year so far. So, Coach, what I want to get your opinion on is normally we hear iron sharpens iron. And you would think with all the great pass rushers we have on this team, including your son, that we'd see a little bit more from Terrence Steele. Now, I don't want to get you in trouble, so if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But what do you think is going on with Terrence Steele and why we've kind of seen a regression this year?
I don't know if they go up against each other in practice, so iron sharpen irons. I couldn't answer that for you. What I tell people is this, like, to some players, it's a job. They happy to feed their family. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
You got like Micah and CD, they want to win. You see what I'm saying? You can see everybody don't play with the same like when Micah
Intensity.
first shared when he said to Van Der Esch, you're not used to winning. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a mindset, it's an attitude, and you gotta have that. You could talk about it, but you gotta have it. And I met Rashawn Gary when my son was in, I think, 10th grade in high school. Yeah, he's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't like is like other teams, they leave the tight end to help, had a running back to chip. We leave our guys out there on the island,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know. And I'm just like, man, like what this guy's capable of doing. Like, give him some help. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? So that's like I said, if we don't give him no help, it could be a long day for that.
100%.
Because
100%.
Rashawn Gary's that guy. Give him some
Yeah.
help. At
Yeah.
least chip him a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you just
We've
make
got
him have to go 1-on-1 all game, yeah, we could be in trouble. This is a trap game for us. It's a lot on the line. I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
man, you're confident. I'm not confident. Like, I'm nervous because Green Bay's hot right now. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They could try a million trick plays on defense. They could send 6 or 7. They could really change the game. So we really got to come out clicking.
Yeah.
We can't come out and play around and try different things. If we run the ball and we get 8 and 9 yards, keep running the ball. I know we want to see Dak throw the ball to CD, but hey, if the ground game's running, we could keep it moving, keep it moving. I hate to see 2nd and 2 and we looking for the end zone down the field, and next you know we putting.
Yeah. 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 We
Or
haven't seen a lot of that lately.
we'll try a trick play.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, keep it simple.
Situational play calling is something that seems to haunt this team. I don't know what it is, but we see it. I mean, we see it sometimes on both sides of the ball. I mean, you've got the prevent defense that for some reason, we're running against the lines there
And Miami.
And Miami. And then, but you go back to that, we threw it on like, what was it? I don't know, 2 and 16. It was after that tripping call. It's like we weren't running to take the time off the clock. I don't know. It's situational play calling. It seems to haunt this team. And so far it's been with different coaches. So I don't understand that, but I'm glad you bring that up, Coach, because it's something that we have got to do. And then we have the playmakers to come over there and help steal. We have people. You've got the fullback, Lupke. You've got him. You've got Schoonmaker, who is a fantastic blocker. I mean, even Dowdle's really a big dude that can help. I always say that's one of the things I think I miss Zeke the most on. When I look back, Zeke was always picking up those blitzers. Zeke was your guy. You see him flipping people over. I just want to get back to helping. If we're going to go far and make a deep playoff run, you need to be on top of your game. And it starts this week by making sure I'm not trying to rag on Terrence, not you, Coach, but Terrence Steele. But that's the weak link on that line. And we have seen it. We've seen it time and time again. It goes back to that Eagles game at the Link when we had like 4 sacks in like 2 minutes. You need to give him some help. If we're going to play and we're going to win and we're going to go and we want to get where we're going, help the guy that's having the biggest issues. So I'm right there with you, Coach. I hope maybe someone of importance is listening. Come on, y'all. We can do this. We've got the team to play. We've got the team to succeed. Let's use what we have to our advantage and not just leave people on islands. So,
yeah. All right, so we'll get back into key matchups. I have one more that I'm gonna go over, and then we'll do another giveaway. So, Coach, you brought up about keeping a tight end and chipping, how we kind of leave our tackles on the island. One thing I've noticed watching Green Bay, and I got to put this key matchup up there: Ferguson and Pollard versus Devondre Campbell and Quay Walker. Green Bay is 29th in the NFL in covering the middle of the field. So they do terrible against the tight end position. On top of that, both of their linebackers are bottom 5 in PFF coverage grades. They're both big, bruising 3-4 linebackers, 240 pounds. They have a problem moving around. They're not as athletic as your son is at that size. And they leave a lot of running backs open in the flats, and they let a lot of tight ends get behind them. So I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup. And Coach, just what do you think about how Ferguson has stepped up and and kind of what Pollard has done in his first year being the guy in the backfield?
Ferguson's playing great. I mean, I love what he's doing. And he's not the type that's going to run out of bounds. He's going to fight for them extra yards, and he has good ball security. Now, Pollard, he's still a good running back. I just feel like we need to use the fullback more. Let the fullback go up through and let him have more room to maneuver. Because pound for pound, he's not breaking that first tackle. But if that fullback go in there and give him a little space, he becomes dangerous. Again, the fullback made Emmitt Smith. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with going back to that smash mouth football. You gotta do what you gotta do to win. It's about ball control. If the Packers ain't in the field, they can't score.
That's
What
right.
I mean? Let our defense rest.
Yeah.
Right.
Time of possession.
I hate when we score and just say something happened, then we get out 3 straight passes, and then we punt defense right back on the field. No.
Yeah.
Give us some chance to breathe a little bit and look at the plays and see how they can make some changes. That's key. Ball control. And we got to respect Green Bay's run game. Because our middle sometimes look real weak.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I'm really, I know I saw Hankins today. I think he was DNP. But I know he was limited last week. So I really hope that means Big Hank's coming back, because he really had been, before he got hurt those last couple of games, he had some tips, and he's really solidified the middle of that line. I mean, Mozzie's still growing. He's not into NFL form yet. And it takes a year to make that leap for most players. So I really am glad to have Hankins back, because we're going to need him. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are not slackers. They are not. Now, I will say Aaron Jones's issue lately is he can't stay on the field. Him and Dillon both, actually, their injuries, they've gotten to the point where they're kind of injury prone, but they are both healthy right now. So I really hope. I look at our defense and I see Hankins and I'm like, okay, you're back. So y'all don't let them get through. They like to run up the A gap too. Aaron Jones will go right through the A gap, and he's strong. He's a big, strong running back. So I really hope that Hankins is ready, because that's Aaron Jones is going to do it if he can get through.
So he's not big though.
Oh, is he not? Which one's the big? Is Dillon's not big?
No, Dillon's 250.
Jones run like he's huge though.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him. Oh man, I said, "Are you really him?"
Right. He looks much bigger. I thought he was like 250.
And what he does on the field, and you see him be like, "Wow, yeah, he's built different."
Yeah, definitely. They got a gem in that one. Since we're on that topic, before we move ahead, Coach. So next year it's going to be a lot of running backs in free agency open. AJ Dillon's going to be one of them. Would you like to see him in Dallas? You think he's an option for Dallas? You don't have to say if you like him in Dallas. Do you think he'd be an option?
I'm gonna tell you who I would like to see in Dallas.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley.
Okay. Ooh. That would be bring him back with his former alumni. Yeah.
I would love to see that, because you definitely you can't go 9-10 in the box because CD will kill. That gives him more running lanes. Yeah. Oh man, that'll revive his career.
Yeah.
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 Right now, he's just 10 because ain't no receivers out there in New York. You know what I mean?
No quarterback.
Yeah, so I know that.
Well, they got Daniel Jones.
That's
no quarterback, Amanda.
I like listen, I like Daniel Jones, but you got to ask yourself, who's he throwing to?
Nobody.
They put nobody around him, so it's like you setting him up. He got good speed. He's not afraid to run the ball.
Yeah,
but he's throwing it to nobody.
Yeah,
like I could go line up at wideout for them.
Right, you can't do no worse for sure.
Yeah.
That's well, I was just happy to see him take down Philly. Okay, that was the best. I was clicking over from our game over to that, and I looked at the score because someone dropped it, and we have an admin chat, Coach, and someone dropped the score, and I said, "Oh, y'all edited that." I didn't believe it, and then I went and looked, and I was like, "Oh my, no one edited that. They beat the crap out of Philly this week.
Yeah,
they gave it to them. Yeah. That was great." And you're
All
in
right,
Philly,
guys.
aren't you, Coach?
Huh?
You're in Philly, right?
Well, I'm 90 minutes from Philly.
It's Harrisburg, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I knew it was close. I'm sure it's the vibe's not really happy right now up in that area.
Yeah, they a lot of upset fans right now, losing 5 out of 6. But in the beginning of the season, a lot of games they stole. So it's like but they lost their OC and their DC. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then you get new pieces in. Like, that was big.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. If you can hang with us for 15 minutes, we'll get out of here if you can. Give us 15 more minutes. All right. Before we move on, I have a couple of X factors that I want to talk about. So when I talk about X factors, I mean guys who have the ability to step up and make some big plays for their teams. I have 2 for Green Bay and I have 1 for Dallas. So the 2 for Green Bay, first of all, their tight end named Tucker Kraft. Nobody knows who this guy is. 3rd round pick, pretty much came out of nowhere. And for the past 5 weeks, he's done almost exactly what Jake Ferguson has done for Dallas. 6'6", 250, runs like a deer, super athletic. He's one of the reasons why Jordan Love has done so great in their offense so far. Another guy Amanda brought up earlier in the show, Christian Watson. 6'4", 4.3 speed, a lot of DK Metcalf comparisons. We saw what DK Metcalf did to us a couple weeks ago, so this one's very concerning. If he plays, because he's dealing with that hamstring injury like Amanda brought up, so you really don't even know if he's going to get out there, and if he does, what you're going to expect. And Cy Witherspoon agreeing with me saying, yeah, he's one to watch, Watson. Then we got one more that takes us to Dallas. And this one I'm really excited about because I've been waiting almost 2 years to finally see what I think could be a breakout game, and that's Kevontae Turpin. So when I watched Green Bay play this week, I noticed that they give up a lot of punt return yardage. So I went and checked the stats, and I realized that Green Bay is actually pretty terrible on special teams. When you look up their statistics, they're bottom 5 in net punt average, which means they punt the ball 50 yards. The returners normally cut that down to about 30 yards net. They're one of only 5 teams to give up a punt return for a touchdown this year. And on kickoff returns, they're bottom 5 in kick return average, which means they let kick returners get more yards per return than anybody else. And they have given up the most 40-yard returns in the NFL. So this game, if Turpin has his mind right, should be a big game for him to be a major X factor. Coach, while we got you here, what do you think about Kevontae Turpin and just what he has done or what he can do for our return game?
I need for him to don't try to be a hero. If it's there, take it. On the offensive side, I think we need to put him in a slot a little bit more, give him some quick passes, and let his speed go. Sometimes I think we run him a little bit too deep down the field, and I don't think that's his game. And he needs at least 2 or 3 run plays because you can't teach speed.
Right.
And he's fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah, he's fast.
All right, guys, we are at an hour 15 minutes. It is time for us to do another giveaway. So, Amanda, let the people know what we're giving away this time.
All right. This is actually from DeLunatic, one of our awesome watchers. He's here week in, week out supporting us. And this is a custom Dallas Cowboys hat. I don't have the pictures on me to share the screen, but it's really, really awesome. And he's donated this one. We're going to have another one next week too. But this is just a really cool hat. I think he said it came from Lids, and it's got custom he's taken the players' autographs, and there's a few options you have. There's Micah, and it's just embroidered, they've taken what the autograph looks like and embroidered on the side. It's really, really neat. These are really awesome hats. I posted into DC for All. You can go check it out and look at them. But they're just really super cool. And Paul, as you can see, Paul's commenting on it. They are really neat. So we're going to give that away, and we'll have another one next week too. So whoever wins this, you can message the DC for L page or Amanda if you happen to know which Amanda is me, and you can just send me your address, and we will get you connected with the lunatic to get it sent out.
So I think I may happen to have one of those hats with me right now.
Ooh,
Well, mine is autographed on the back. So it's on the back
similar.
or the side, Amanda? It's similar?
I think it's on the side.
Okay, so it's a Cowboy.
It may be on the.
I have one that's on the side too. I just got so many hats in here right now, I can't find it.
Huh.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit that button. As you guys know, all you have to do to get entered into the drawing is keep leaving those great questions and comments. So I'm going to hit this button, and we'll see who is the winner of this signature hat. Let's see who we got for this prize. Grandizer 12. Now, Grandizer, are you a Rams fan? Because I think you might be a Rams fan.
Uh-oh.
Let me know in the comments, Grandizer. I don't want to. I'm almost certain Grandizer 12 is a Rams fan, Amanda. So we are going to do another drawing. And if he's not a Rams fan, we'll get him something else. But I'm almost certain he's a Rams fan.
Well, everybody. So yeah, he is what everyone's saying.
So we will draw again. So let's hit this button and see who we have next. All right, it's Say Miriles. Thank you for joining us, and it looks like you are the winner of the signature hat. So make sure you contact Amanda Foster on Facebook, and she'll get with you on that prize. So we do have one more prize left, guys. It's a big prize coming at the end of the show. We only got about 15 minutes left or less. So make sure you guys get those questions and comments in. And to make sure that you get those questions and comments in, we are going to our last segment of the show, which you guys know is our most interactive section, and that is our over-under, where I'll give you guys some statistics, and you guys let me know whether or not you think that player will go over or under that statistic. So, Coach, if you can hang with us for about 10 more minutes, I don't have a lot of them, so we would love to get your input on whether or not these players go over or under these statistics. And guys, once again, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. We have a lot of views right now. The likes are not matching them. So let's get those likes up before we get out of here. Also, make sure you go to our YouTube channels. Bluff City Cowboys, you can find me. And you can find the newly created DC4L YouTube channel as well. Let's get both of us to 1,000 by the end of the year.
Jeff asked where Coach is. He's worried.
So Coach is still here. He's just behind the scenes.
He's behind the scenes.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to it, and we'll do some over-unders for this week's game.
Over-under.
All right. So our first over-under, CeeDee Lamb has been on a tear the past month or so. Dak is treating him like the number one receiver he is. What is he, first or second in the league in receiving yards?
Second.
Yeah, I think Tyreek passed him last week of the season.
But first in receptions.
First in receptions, yeah. Okay. So over under 100 receiving yards this week for CeeDee Lamb in this week's game. Over 100 receiving yards. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Coach, we'll start with you. Over under 100 receiving yards for CeeDee Lamb.
Over.
Okay. You said that pretty confidently. You think it's going to be way over?
Because, again, he has to get him the ball. There's no way we can't come out and sugarcoat it. Like I said, 9 to 10 targets. Yeah, over 100.
Okay. Amanda, what do you think? 100 yards over, under?
Oh, you know how I feel about CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to go 135 minimum.
Okay.
I think I'm CD is the key, is the cog in the offense. I mean, Dak, of course, got to get him the ball, but yards after the catch, just everything. Get the ball to CD Lamb.
All right. So I see in the comments everybody's saying over. It's pretty much unanimous. Everybody's going over for sure. Got a lot of guys that are confident in CD Lamb's ability this week. We definitely will need him because this will be a tough matchup against another very good offense. The lunatic with the easy over. Stephen White, I appreciate the compliments on the graphics. I did have a couple of errors in there, but we got to work those out as we keep going. Jeff saying Nixon barbecue chicken. We got one under Arturo Cortez. That looks like a Cowboys jersey you're wearing, so I won't say you were trying to hate as a opposing fan, but looks like we only got one guy saying under. So, yeah, definitely. William Coulter said over in rushing yards, too. That'd be amazing. So since William Coulter brings up rushing yards, we'll talk about our starting running back. Now, watching Green Bay play, they are terrible against the run. And it's crazy because they have probably one of the biggest defensive front sevens in the league. Linebackers are 240. Their inside linebackers are 240. The outside linebackers are 270. All their defensive tackles are 310 and up. But for some reason, they cannot get running backs on the ground. So over under 60 yards rushing for Tony Pollard, pretty much his average for the year. Coach, we'll start with you again. Over under 60 yards rushing for Tony Pollard.
Under.
Okay. Is there a reason why you say under, Coach? Just curious.
We love Dak. They want
Okay.
they want to win the game with Dak throwing the ball.
Makes sense.
So he's going to get a couple yards, and then we bring Dowdy in. Dowdy, he runs hard.
He does.
So now if it's both of them over together combined, both of them combined over 60. Unless he breaks off a real good run, it's going to be hard for him to get 60 because he don't get that many touches.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, we got the last two people are agreeing with you. Paul Foy saying split carries with Dowdle. Rachel Nians going under. Everybody else pretty much going over. So Amanda, what do you think? Over under 60 yards rushing, Tony Pollard.
Now, everybody knows Tony's sometimes on my list. And it's not even, I think, a running back only goes as good as your offensive line goes. And for some reason, now I saw it was different last week. And what was his name? Hoffman? That man, I was watching sounds of the sideline. He was fantastic in run protection. Like he was doing some big things. Now, that's no knock on Zach Martin. He's the best there is. But we ran the ball really well last week. But I don't know what it is about our line. It's just that we're not really built for running. I don't get it, but I'm going to actually agree with Coach and go under. I expect Dowdle to have the bigger of the chunk plays because he's a harder runner and he's faster. And as good as Tony is and the speed seems to be coming back, I think Dowdle is set up because the defensive side of the ball for the Packers is so big, such big guys that I think Dowdle will have a better game than Pollard this week.
Okay. Now, Coach did bring up if I had both the Cowboys running backs, he would have gone over. I do have both the Green Bay's running backs. So Green Bay, one running back extremely big, one running back runs extremely physical. So I got the number pretty high because they run the ball a lot. Over under 120 total yards for both Packers running backs. You guys need to take a minute to think about it. Let me know. Looks like Coach is still thinking. Amanda, you got to answer for us. Over under 120 total yards, both running backs.
You said total. See, and that's where you said total because Aaron's really good at the taking some balls out of the slot. You see him a lot of times. Aaron will pop up in your slot. So I'm going to say over because of strictly total. I think we'll be fine containing their run. I'm actually pretty confident the Cowboys are going to come ready to play. So total yards are both going to be over, but rushing I would have said under.
Okay. What about you, Coach? What you got?
That's what I agree with. Yeah, over.
Okay. All right. And for you mathematicians in here, the lunatic did the math for us. They average 14.7 yards a rush. They'll get about 15 rushes. He has equals over. I don't know if the math is mathing right there, the lunatic, but I'll take your word for it. Jack Meeker saying we got Hankins coming back, so he has them under. And then we got a couple other people going under as well. Definitely got a lot of people saying over. Jeff says under there, go for about 100. All right, we got 2 more over unders, and then we'll get you guys out of here. My next one is related to the Packers wide receivers. Now, I know our offense is pretty ball dominant with CeeDee Lamb, but Jordan Love does like to spread the ball around in his offense. They have a ton of young wide receivers. All of them are 6'2", 4.5 speed, super athletic, 50-50 ball guys. Over under 70 yards receiving for any one of the Packers receivers. So you got Romeo Doubs, you got Jaden, how did I just forget his last name that quick? Jaden Reed, Christian Watson if he plays, and other laundry list of wide receivers. Over under 70 yards receiving for any of their receivers.
None of them will have 70. I think I do expect like a 50, 60 for each one, but no one's going over 70 by themselves.
Okay.
Over.
You got one in particular, Coach?
Watson.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we got a sample of what that height, weight, speed can do with Seattle, so I'm kind of concerned about that one myself. And the last time he played us, he had, 3 touchdowns and 150 yards?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one could get ugly.
But I look at Aaron Rodgers, too, look who was throwing him the ball, so.
Okay. All right, so this is my last over-under of the night, and as you guys know, the last over-under is usually an either-or. So we know how great Jay Ferguson has done, but I also got to give their tight end Kraft his flowers. He's averaged over 40 yards a game for 5 of the last 6 games. Jake Ferguson in that same time frame has been 6 out of 7. Tucker Kraft has had 40 yards or more in 4 of the last 6. Jake Ferguson has had 40 or more in 5 of the last 6. Neither guy has gone under 30 yards in any game the past 6 games. Stats are almost identical. Who do you guys think has more receiving yards this year? Tucker Kraft, or Jake Ferguson?
What do you think, Coach? Ferguson?
Ferguson.
I mean, I agree also. I mean, just from that stat of how bad they are covering the middle of the field, I would have to agree as well.
I agree. I don't. Jordan Lewis, Donovan Wilson, just the way they've been playing lately, I think Kraft's going to have a really tough time finding some success. I mean, he'll have some, but I do not expect him to have the success he's had against like the Bears and other teams. So I'll say Fergie's going to go over. I expect him to get a touchdown this game too. He's due one.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like it's pretty much unanimous Ferguson in the chat. So thank you guys leaving all those great comments. So before we get out of here, we got to do the last giveaway of the day. And Amanda, you want to let the people know a little bit about what that giveaway is?
Sure. So we've got a jersey of choice. You just have to message me and we'll get it all situated. A jersey of choice for you. So just send me a message and we'll get you set up. They're super nice stitch jerseys. So just message me and we'll get it all taken care of. This was also donated by the Lunatic. So we thank you for being an awesome supporter of the show, the Lunatic. You're just so appreciated and we're so grateful for you. And he's also donated for next week's too. He's ready.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, the Lunatic. Just leaving great questions, great comments, and also your support in terms of giveaways. So definitely appreciate that. And also, did he buy these from 951s?
Yes.
951. So yeah, we also have to thank our sponsor, 951 Sports. Gave away a jersey last week. The Lunatic bought another jersey from them. You can go find them on Facebook if you want to buy some jerseys. They're great stitched, high quality jerseys. Be the envy of your tailgate. Go to 951 Sports to get your jerseys. Threw a free plug in there for you, Mikey. You can send the residuals later. All right. So let's go ahead and do this last drawing of the day. Let's see who gets this jersey. You guys been leaving a lot of comments, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of different people to choose from. Michael Dale Agee. So Michael Dale Agee, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you reach out to Amanda to get your Stitch jersey. And we're at an hour and 30 minutes. Honestly, I thought this show was going to go 2 hours, so I'm very surprised we're getting out of here at an hour and 30. Before we go, I got to thank you, Coach, for joining us. Appreciate you giving us a few minutes. I know you got a busy schedule. You're in Eastern time, so it's after 11 o'clock for you. So we can't thank you enough for just giving us your insight and giving us some great stories and background about your son.
Oh, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
All right, so before
I just want to say we appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So we got one other question before you go, and then I have another question for you. I lost the question. Oh, here it is. So, question from the Lunatic who just did the jersey giveaway. What sport did Micah first beat you in?
Madden football.
Okay. So Micah's a big Madden guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets it honestly.
All right. So you're big in Madden too, huh?
I used to be.
Okay. Did you play with the Cowboys when you played?
Yeah, Kansas City. I used to be so good. They used to say I had to pick a team that was under 80 overall.
I remember those days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach, before you go, you got to let us know about the Parsons Foundation, what it is, what you do, and how.
Okay, so I don't do nothing right now because when I first started, it was like people was trying to be a part for the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Always.
Yeah, so I had to just so I'm looking forward to return. But my goal was to get kids outside their normal surroundings, because what hurts a lot of our kids from Harrisburg is either you live at the South, the Hill, Uptown, or the projects. And that's it. That's all they know. So when they get off to go to school or go a little bit further away, they really can't adapt. See, my kids, we traveled a lot. So if they had to go away, they was cool. They knew how to handle being away from home, not being around mom or dad. That's cool. But a lot of our kids are they're sheltered. And like I said, I coached basketball, and we was going to Williamsport. Williamsport's about maybe 2 hours from me where the Little League World Series is.
Right.
And the young lady was like, "Oh my God, I've never been this far outside of PA." I'm like, "Yeah, we still in PA." Like, she really thought we was outside of PA.
Wow.
But let's be so I like to get kids out, learn, get them on an airplane, get them to some theaters, get them outside of Pennsylvania, trips like that, so they can know what life is outside of Harrisburg, PA. Because if you never experience being outside of here, you'll never leave, because you'll think this is all it is. So that's what I want to do. So I ain't give up the hope yet. I just had to shut down and get people who's not worried about making money.
Yeah.
But able to make kids fulfill these dreams. And I feel like you can't wait to high school to try to get kids to talk about college. You got to get them at middle school.
Yeah.
Like for me, I told myself I was never going to college. I went on my first college visit. In the cafeteria, they had all the name brand cereals.
Uh-huh.
At home, you might have one good name brand. It was just regular cereal. So I said, hold on. We get to pick any cereal we want every day? They're like, yeah. I said, oh, yeah, I think I want to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
That was me in high school. That was the fat boy in me. So, maybe middle school, if I'd have won some college visits and would learn something, college might have been different. And then again, college ain't for everybody.
Right.
But you want to introduce them a little bit earlier, because once they get to high school, some of these kids' minds are set, they're focused, or they don't want to do nothing. So we got to pick their brains a little bit earlier.
Yeah. So somebody asked the question, when you get it up and running, he'll donate monthly. Amanda will be in contact with Coach. So when that thing gets up and running, we'll definitely be posting it all throughout the DC4L network and we'll let you guys know where you can donate.
I was actually going to say, Coach. So we are very blessed in DC Frill. We partner with DAC Ties, and we're able to kind of advertise a little bit. We aren't expect anything. We don't want anything. We're just trying to do good things. You get what you give. You put out good in the world, because that's, you're not going to get back anything good if you don't put good out. So we're very much all about giving here at DC Frill. So please let me know if you get that up running. We're friends on Facebook. Shoot me a message. I would love to be able to do something. We'll run fundraisers, whatever you need. We'd love to help. We don't want anything in return. We just want to help. That's an important thing that you're doing there and that you're wanting to do. So please let me know.
Oh, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Michael Dale Agee, you can contact Amanda Foster on Facebook to find out how to get that jersey. Before we go, Coach, you got any last words? Anything you want to leave with the fan base? Anything, anywhere you want them to follow you at, or you got anything upcoming you want people to know about? The floor is yours.
Hey, they can follow me on Instagram at Big Pars, BIGPARS, on Facebook at TPTV Parsons. And that page is usually when I travel. I go live and show the live parties and talk my trash, or after a game, win, lose, or draw, let them know how I feel. So, I just have fun with it right now.
Okay. So where are you hanging out at before the game or after the game this week? You going lot 10 or
Either lot 11 or probably Texas Live.
okay.
The Dez Bryant
oh yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really live when he was out there for Detroit. It was so live, I ain't getting to the game until the second quarter.
Wow.
But they had the game on, so I was in my element. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I said, but I'll be in this game early, so
Yeah.
'cause I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it out there too, Coach. So I'll see if I can meet up with you or something. Maybe shake your hand. So.
Oh yeah, hit me up. I'm leaving Friday evening after work, so yeah.
I'm a local. So I'm not too far away. So I'm going to try to make it up. I like to tailgate every time. I like to hang out with my people. I'm a big sports buff, and my family really isn't. My poor husband puts up with more than his fair share. So I like coming out and hanging out with people. So I'll message you and see where you're at and try to come hang out.
I should be down in by the field.
Okay.
11:30 for sure.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So there you guys have it. We got an hour and a half with Coach Terrence Parsons. If you see him at a game, you know what he looks like now. Be sure to give him a shout out. Say, hey, Coach, what's up? Remember, he's a regular guy, so don't go out there and harass him and try to get autographs and pictures. I'm sure he'd be happy to do it. But remember, he's a Cowboy fan like all of us. He's trying to go out there and enjoy some good Cowboys football as well.
Yeah, I'll be back again.
All right, so Coach, definitely appreciate you giving us an hour and a half. You gave us great stories, great feedback about your knowledge of the game, and we definitely looking forward to hearing from you again.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us for this show tonight. Amazing show. You guys really brought it in the comments. Thank you guys for your continued support. Make sure you guys watch us every Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time for the Cowboy. I almost hit the wrong show. For the Fifth Quarter Podcast. We're going to be here for what we expect to be a Victory Wednesday. I'll also be doing a pregame show this Sunday. Give you guys some last-minute news and notes on the game. Again, appreciate you guys joining us. It was a big deal for us to get Coach here. Looking forward to getting him back again sometime in the future. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our sponsors for the giveaways. Everything was great.
Thank you.
Any closing words before we go?
I just, when Marcus and I started this up, let's see, it hadn't been that long now. I didn't expect all this love, and y'all have just been fantastic from the fans. Marcus has been great. We run on y'all. We don't operate. We can't have this show if you're not here, and you are week in and week out. And I'm amazed by all of you, and thank you so much. And having Coach today was just probably like the coolest thing I think I've done in a really long time. That was super cool. Like that was just kind of like a dream, get to talk to someone that knows the inner workings of the way the Cowboys are. And then such an amazing player to have, Mike is just a legend already. So I appreciate all y'all for being here, and Marcus for being willing to come on and do this, and for putting up with my mouth when I'm sitting here. Because I always say that Marcus is the brains behind the operation, and I'm just the mouthpiece. So I'm grateful for everybody, and I thank y'all all for coming.
All right, thank you guys for joining us once again. Definitely looking forward to having a great game this week against the Green Bay Packers. Seeing who we play next week. Make sure you guys again join us this Sunday, 11:15 Central, for our pregame show, and also join us next Wednesday for our game recap and look ahead to our next week's opponent. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, let's go Cowboys. We'll see you next week.